What is happening with the pigtails this episode, you guys? Why are grown women doing this to themselves? I don't understand. Help! Hey guys, welcome back to Real Housewives Recaps. Today I'm covering 90 Day Fiancé, Season 8, Episode 14, Into Your Arms. What a romantic title for, the wildest episode of the show this season. You guys, this one blew me away. I was laughing. I didn't cry. I just laughed the whole time. I couldn't get over it. So much craziness happening. So much nonsense. So many people to hate. Let's get into it. Hey guys, I just want to take a second and say if you're enjoying this show, please check out my Patreon. Go to patreon.com, search Real Housewives Recaps, or check the comments below and I'll put a link. And for $1 a week, you can support my show and get 4 bonus episodes per month. I'm covering Scary Island, the greatest season of Real Housewives of New York. So check it out. Thanks so much. Let's start off with my favorite kook, Stephanie. Now, Stephanie, remember, started this show with a fiancé, Ryan. That didn't work out so well, so now she's with Harris, his cousin. I mean, seriously, I cannot make this stuff up. I am dying from this. My husband doesn't really watch the show, but I do make him watch her scenes because they're so funny to me. You guys, I'm just going to jump ahead. When they do therapy in bed with her psychic, I was crying laughing. Oh my gosh. And Harris, okay, he seems like a nice guy, but any chance he gets, he says to the camera, yeah, I'm going to do well in America. I can't wait to come to America. It's going to be great. Oh God. And I don't even feel sorry for Stephanie. She deserves everything she gets. She is like a beacon for drama. No, she runs toward drama. And then she's like, why is this happening to me? Oh my gosh, you guys. And then it's like, oh, Ryan's mom's calling my work. Block everything. I was dying during this scene. Dying. Ah, such good TV. And seriously, my favorite line of this episode was right here where she tells Harris, plan a surprise for me. I don't care what it costs. Oh my God, seriously? She wants him to be romantic, but tells him, plan a surprise. I don't care what it costs. Here's my credit card. Oh my God. And then she wonders if she's being set up or made to be a fool or taken advantage of. Oh my gosh, seriously? And then here come the pigtails. Sure, why not? But yeah, she thinks this is her fairy tale. Now Harris is saying I love you. I want to be with you forever. And she's like, do you mean it? Of course. Sure. Why not? He says, I'm going to live my life. Oh, no, she says, I'm going to live my life day by day. I have one more chance in my life. Harris might be the one. It's so weird. That's the same thing Rebecca says a lot. I have one more chance at this. Okay. So she asks him to stay over tonight and live like it's going to be their last night. And I'm thinking, poor Harris, it might be their last night. Yeah, so here's her face during the romantic parts of the evening. And, yeah, I'll let you decide what she's on there. But, yeah. So I lived in Michigan for a little bit. I've definitely been around people that talk like this, but not so much people that act like this. Oh my God. Okay, let's go over to Mike and Natalie. Speaking of people that act nuts. He re-proposed to Natalie. Again, it's totally going to work out, right? They've been spoiling this all season long. We knew it was coming. They decided on a date, and then Corona happened. They're going to get married at the ranch. That's what he's calling it, the ranch. Okay. My husband Jay asked if that's the same ranch where Dr. Phil sends troubled kids. Maybe so. Okay, so we see him walking around. He's like, oh God, it's Corona. I don't want to relive this part. So she's explaining to her mom that no one's able to come and, the borders are closing. Mom's like, don't worry. Everything will be perfect. And she says she has one option, and that's to marry without mom. Guess what, Natalie? There's a secret second option, and you're not going to like it. We go from one crazy mouth to another. Jovi. Yeah. So tomorrow's his wedding day. Just ignore the girl giving him a lap dance. That's totally normal, right? So this girl is sitting on his lap, and his friend is really helping him out. And by that, I mean trying to send him upstairs with the stripper. Um, I mean, whatever. She said he could go out for a little while. She understands the stripper things, but he's saying he knows that she's going to be pissed about this. But if she asks, he'll tell her the truth. Oh, that's really good. That's good, Jovi. That's good of you. He's supposed to be home at 11 something. He's home at 1:30. And again, this wouldn't be a huge deal except for they're leaving the next day. His fiancée is pregnant. Oh, and might I remind you guys, she fell down this same day. She's pregnant. She had a fall, had to go to urgent care to get checked out. Luckily, she's fine. But this asshole decides this is a great night to go drinking with his pals. Now, remind you that the pals are also going to Vegas, so they couldn't all go drinking there, but nope, he needs to go out this night. This is the same guy who left her when she was having a miscarriage in another country. He's like on fire with this. So he can't figure out why she could possibly be mad at him. She's pissed, she's trying to sleep, and yeah, he's gross. I don't know what else to say here, but he's really gross. You guys, I could spend about an hour and a half. No, I could spend about 4 hours talking about Amira and Andrew. Now remember, Amira is quarantining in Serbia. She has quarantined there for 14 days to fly to the U.S. She's 5 days into the quarantine. You guys, every time I think I can't hate Andrew any more than I do, I find a new way to hate this guy. He is the absolute worst. I actually like Amira a lot more. I don't know, I just feel for her so much. She's talking about not only is COVID going on, there is civil unrest in Serbia, there's riots, and she's kept awake by police. And now, she was supposed to have room service in the hotel. She can't get that, I'm assuming due to Corona. She's afraid. She's by herself. She has to go out and get food, and she's scared. And they show her trying to go buy food, and this guy is yelling something at her in Serbian. She's scared to death. She goes to this place to get her one meal, and they said that they're closing. So I just felt so bad for her. To make it worse, she says, Andrew's barely talking to me. Almost no calls at all from him. Oh my God, you guys. What is happening? Again, I'm feeling so bad for her, but then I think, what is she doing? Why put yourself in this position? Like, she seems to live a beautiful life in France. She's got her dad there and her friends, and I just don't understand. I don't understand any of this. It makes me want to bang my head against the wall. We go over to Tarik. I always say his name wrong. I think it's Tarik and Hazel. So they're fighting about trust issues. I'm going to kind of breeze past this. I say it every week. I actually think he's probably the most normal one on the show. He seems to really like her. She seems to be looking for a reason to be mad at him. Now, it does sound like he's getting into some drama. Before, I thought it was nothing with the Minty thing because they both agreed on Minty. And he just reached out to check on her, which I thought was nice. But now, I don't know. There's a new friend in the picture. So Angela, the other friend, is here to talk about what's going on, and Hazel explains that there's another friend that he's been texting, but he's like, nah, she's been a friend of mine for years. We're just talking. It's nothing. So I do like Angela. I like her. She took Hazel's side. I don't like Hazel that much. I'll just be honest with you. She doesn't seem to have that much personality. It could be a language barrier. Who knows? She could be scared. I don't know. But Angela, I like. She was saying, Tarik, if it makes Hazel uncomfortable, you should just drop this girl that's making her feel uncomfortable. This is your fiance. And he's saying, I broke it. I got to fix it. So he'll do the right thing. Okay, so to further play with our emotions, let's go back to Mike and Natalie. So this was the weirdest scene. I knew what was coming, but it was so weird to watch this where he was actually smiling. I'm not used to that from him. He only smiles at his cat. He never smiles at Natalie. But he actually seems excited. It was very strange. So Natalie FaceTimes her friend, and Natalie's super excited about it. We find out her first wedding was huge. It was at a big fancy hotel. And she says she doesn't need that this time. It was really interesting to see the pictures from the first wedding. I thought Natalie looked just completely different. I'm not saying, I know we all look a little different when we get older, but it's not that. It's just does she have a head transplant? What am I missing here? She looks completely different. I can't believe this is the same girl. I was shocked. Anyway, so it was interesting to see that. First wedding in a big fancy hotel. Again, can you believe that's Natalie? I cannot believe it. She said she doesn't need that this time. She's asked the neighbor to be her maid of honor. Uncle Beau's going to be there. Natalie's excited because the wedding's tomorrow. Everything is great. That's how she ends this part. Not so much Natalie. But seriously, guys, the upcoming scene really confused me. We'll talk about it. Where they act all happy. I don't get it. Back to confusing as shit. Let's go over to Stephanie and Harris. Okay. You guys. Dying over this scene. Absolutely dying. Made my husband watch this part. We were laughing so hard. So the new guy she's boning, she has him, they're in robes, right? They're in bed, and that's a great time she decides they need to FaceTime her psychic friend Maria. She wants to know, is Harris who I think he is? That's my impression of Stephanie. Maria wants to ask him some questions, and he says he's not worried. He's not hiding anything. P.S. You guys, I laugh so hard. So he does, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. He seems like a nice guy. He's telling Stephanie exactly what she wants to hear. But come on. I mean, she's an easy mark, right? But watch his forehead. He gets so sweaty. Maybe they don't have air conditioning. I have no idea. But he is sweating his balls off. So you tell me what's going on there while he's talking to her friend and answering questions. Oh, gosh. Is he sweating? She's just drinking and drinking and drinking and drinking. Anyway, so many scenes with her eyes closed. That seems to be whatever is causing that. We'll just leave it there. Okay. So to camera, he's saying he wants to make a better life for his family in America. And then to her, he's saying, I want to be with you. And Maria obviously has amazing psychic abilities because she thinks he's perfect for her. Oh my God. Oh my gosh. Seriously? Like, what's happening here? So he's saying he's loving her more and more. And she's saying, I'm not sure if I'm ready to say I love you. And he's like, I love you. I love you. So again, these crazy kids will definitely work out. No red flags there, right? I mean, this is the face of true love, right? Oh, you guys, let's go over to Rebecca. You know what? I just can't. I say this every week. I try their scenes. I can't do it. But seriously, guys, what the hell's going on with her pigtails? What is happening? I mean, I don't know what to say about this except for please stop watching Harley Quinn. Yeah, it's so cringy. She's pretending to lose her engagement ring because she doesn't have a storyline. Let's move on. Oh, P.S. My husband pointed out when Zied was playing the video game, he wasn't actually playing it. There were some parts where you can see a little light on the controller, but mostly it wasn't there. So I think it was turned off. He was just pretending. Okay, on to Andrew and Amira. So 15 days till visa. We see, oh my God. So she's upset. And he's saying, it's understandable she's feeling down and bored. I want to cheer her up. You guys, I hate this guy. I got to find a new way to say I hate this guy, but I hate this guy. So he says, we'll do lots of stuff when you get there. And she's like, so that's a good sign. He's saying, let's go camping. She said, I've never done that before. We find out his sister's pregnant and he is completely obsessed with kids. And she says he's been pressuring her about getting pregnant right away. So she very logically says, maybe we should work our shit out first. And he's like, no, let's just jump in. What could possibly go wrong here? That's, really, really good idea, Andrew. So he then starts talking down to her more so. I mean, he's just so condescending. To watch him in the way he speaks to her, it really... he says, it sounds like you're attaching the idea of children by behavior of mine. That's difficult. It's so strange. Somewhere in my notes I wrote, he talks to her like she's stupid, and then he talks to her like it's a job applicant. Like, no emotion, just asking questions. Anyway. All right, so he's saying, I'm sorry you feel that way. Producer asks what's up, and he says, according to Amira, he's not material for fatherhood. He loves to paint himself as the victim through all this. He, meanwhile, is putting her through hell, making her quarantine in all these different places, and not doing a freaking thing except for going on vacation for 2 weeks in Mexico, but he likes to make himself the victim in all this. Let's move on. He's making me mad. I'm going to get wrinkles. Okay, move on to Mike and Natalie. So this is the part where I was saying I was so confused. One day to the wedding, obviously we saw in the previews what was going to happen, but this was the weirdest scene to me. They actually seem happy. He's smiling. He only smiles at his cat. I don't understand. He's usually smiling when he's getting his hair cut, like talking to his hairdresser. I don't understand this interaction between them because they actually look happy. She's drinking her green juice and pretending to eat real food, and he's pretending like he doesn't mind not eating food. So there's touching, he's making sex jokes like he does a striptease for, kind of. Please don't do that. It was very strange. Obviously, again, I knew what was coming, but I was still shocked by all this because he seems happy. He's talking about how magical it'll be. Now, granted, he was talking about banging her, but still, he seems into it. So, he's saying no bachelor party for him. Again, talks about strip club. Calls himself Magic Big Mike. Yikes. And he says they're both really excited to get married. It's great all around. Okay. I know she's a nightmare, but you guys, if this actually went down like this, where he pretended like everything was great and literally gave her no indication the day before that they were about to get married that he wasn't into it, that is fucked up. Seriously. Like, what? That's awful. He is the worst if that's the case. I know, I say that about everybody, but he is. That's awful. You don't do that. Like, he could tell her right now, I'm scared, I don't know, and they could talk about it or whatever. He could call it off right now, not the day of. That's so messed up. I really want to know what happened. I need cameras that morning when he woke up. What the hell? I mean, obviously, we've known for a long time, maybe he wasn't that into her and she's awful, but even here, it's like, was he really drunk? Is that what it was? Because he was acting a little weird. What the hell happened between then and the next day that made him decide, nope, can't do it? I mean, all I can assume is he had been feeling that way. He tried to hide it, but instead of being a grown-up and having a conversation that might be tough, he's lying to her over and over, and it's making her crazy. Yeah, she's already crazy, but it's making her more crazy, and that's a terrible combination. I wouldn't wish that on anybody. That's awful, and I feel so bad. I actually feel bad for her, and the fact that he's making me feel bad for this monster pisses me off. So we know Natalie loves to pick, and Mike doesn't like that or her at all. So I really want to know what happened. He seemed to be looking for a reason. What do you think it was? Now, my husband had a really good theory here. He seems to think that maybe, and I have done no research on this, so I don't know, maybe Mike got a better payday if he lasted till the day of, something like that. And it's got my wheels turning. What if that does have something to do with it? Does he get paid differently if he makes it to the day of, even if he doesn't marry her? That's a really interesting question. And then my other question was, maybe that's part of Amira's motivation for not getting on the plane? Like, fuck Andrew, he doesn't need the payday then. I don't know. These are just things that pop in my head. Let me know what you think. All right, so it's Tarik and Hazel. So 5 days until they get married. So I'm just going to breeze through this. They've been fighting a lot. He does a nice thing here. He plans for Ari to spend an extra night with her mom, and so they can have the house to themselves, have a romantic night. he calls Hazel down. He set up this whole thing with chocolate and strawberries and cherries, and it was sweet. He has flowers for her, and they finally kind of have a conversation about it. And I just like him. I think he seems like a nice guy. He's saying, listen, I appreciate everything you've done. You left your home for me. You left your son behind. That sounds terrible. You left your son, and you're here to try to make this work, and I'm not making it easy for you. So I appreciate that he did that for her. My favorite line of this part is when he says, I do love, he says, no one will come before you. I thought that was such a nice thing to say to somebody. It make her feel more secure. That's kind. Okay. My favorite thing is he said, pretend you're getting off the plane and you see my big dumb ass face. That's what he said. My big dumb ass face. And he reproposes to her. It was so sweet. They eat the strawberry. He picks her up, and they seem very happy. So again, I really like him. I just can't like her. And the reason is not, I don't blame her for, getting a little upset that he's texting women. It does sound a little fishy. I just don't like that she's really taken over this girlfriend situation. Hey, if they want a girlfriend, cool. Good for them. Sounds like fun. Okay. No, I'm saying no to my husband. That's not an invitation for us to get a girlfriend. But it's just weird that she's laying down the law of exactly what she wants and expects, but won't hear him out on what he wants. I just find that a little odd and a little, discomforting on the way their relationship and the dynamic works. I don't know how you make that work. If you're not listening to each other, I don't know how that's going to work out. Anyway, okay, Andrew and Amira. Oh God, you guys, Andrew, the perpetual victim. Poor thing, he's so worried, and by that I mean he's not. For most of you that caught it last week, I'll say it again here. It bears repeating. Allegedly, I was told some information about him. We don't know if it's true or not, but I was told that he was given the chance by production to go see Amira at the detention center, or at least be near her at the detention center when she was in Mexico, and he said, no, thank you. So I have I don't care if it's true or not. I choose to believe it. So I have zero sympathy for this guy. He paints himself as a victim. He's like, oh, I should have heard from her by now, and I haven't. What's going on? Okay, Andrew. So she's supposed to be headed to the airport now, coming through New York, and his mom is asking about concerns. I'm concerned about Andrew. He says that she sees him as a very angry person. Well, you do seem like an angry person. Also, she's not sure about kids. Shocker. Mom says it's incredible that she would bring that up, not 6 months ago. All right, I'll give you that. If that's true and you're having doubts, yeah, same. I said the same thing about Mike. Why not bring it up before? Maybe Amira should have brought it up before. I'll give you that, but I'm not even giving that point to Andrew because I hate him. I'll give it to his mom. Anyway, I have in my notes he's a perpetual victim because he's talking about how she could potentially hold him back. Ugh, what universe? So he says he's stewing in a lot of anxiety about what could be going on with Amira. Maybe if you had gone to Serbia with her, you could have been there and figured it out. Mom tells him to go try to get some rest before picking her up at the airport tomorrow. And he's like, oh, I don't think I'll be able to sleep. Poor Andrew, said nobody ever. Okay, so next day. You guys, my heart was racing and I started laughing during this part because all of a sudden we get the shaky cam. You know shit's going down when that happens and I freaking love it. He's saying, well, this has certainly gone wrong. Producer's like, what's up? And he says, she didn't get on the plane. And then we get 4 days till visa expires. You guys, finally Amira got smart. She didn't get on the plane. I need every detail. I hope to God this isn't like a editing fake out. Like she missed the plane because she's in the bathroom, so she caught the next one. I hope it's nothing like that. Sounds like she didn't get on the plane. And by the looks of the preview for next week, it's going to be interesting. And I can't wait. And Andrew sucks. And he's actually secretly happy because I don't think he wants Amira. He just wants to be the victim that lost Amira. So then we go over to Yara and Jovi. So they're leaving to go to Las Vegas. So again, I'm just kind of laughing because it says 3 days to the wedding, but they're headed to go get married. I guess that they have 3 days left to wed, but they're headed to go get married. And oh my gosh, he's saying, if Yara presses me, I'll have to be honest about what happened with the stripper. This is a great way to start off. Yara says after the fight at the engagement party, he promised he would be different. Yara, come on. He's never going to be different. He's only going to get worse. She wanted it to be just them, but she ended up inviting his parents, and then he invited a bunch of friends, so she's pissed about that. And she's saying he just doesn't care about her. I get the same vibe. He just doesn't care about anybody but himself. Dump this guy, move back to Ukraine. It's cool. Start over. Find somebody with a few less teeth. So he says, you gonna be mad all day? And that's not what you want. That's not what you say if you want somebody not to be mad all day. So she's not talking to him. Things aren't good. She says, I don't want to hear your voice. And so we find out Jovi is leaving for work the next week. So they have to go ahead and get married now. And she just says she wants to go back to the Ukraine. And I say, I don't blame you. All right. And then we're back over at Mike and Natalie's. You guys, it's the wedding day. So immediately we go to we go to Natalie. She's crying 3 days until the visa expires. And she's saying, oh my God, over and over. She ends up having to call the wedding officiant. And this is where we find out that, so according to her, she just says, my fiance changed his mind. She also says she's having a panic attack. I actually felt so sorry for Natalie, which pissed me off even more at Mike, because I don't want to feel sorry for Natalie. She sucks too. And apparently he said today he realized he didn't want to marry her. If that's the case, that's pretty shitty. I mean, you can't decide the day before. You can't have this conversation. So Natalie's calling to cancel, and she has to go back home to the Ukraine. She says her relationship is over, and she can't forgive him. Girl, I don't blame you. So then we get a flash to 2 hours later. There's like a selfie video. She's saying, this is my last day in America. We see her crying and packing. So Tamra, the neighbor who was supposed to be at the wedding, comes over. This is where we get a little bit more of the story. Mike apparently came over and said, it's not going to work out. So then Mike left to go to the bank. Natalie is packing up, and he's going to send her a ticket, and the neighbor is going to drive her to the airport. So Natalie's asking her about putting petrol in the car. She's crying so hard, and with her accent, the neighbor couldn't understand, so she has to say petrol about 150 times. The neighbor, I actually felt bad for the neighbor. She's kind of stuck in the middle. She's saying she cried with both of them. She's sad for him. The producer asks how she's going to get home. She's not sure. They've closed the borders to the Ukraine, from what I understand, and she says she's flying to Europe, and then she'll have to figure it out from there. But she says it's just too much. She can't do it. She's just so mad. She doesn't know what to do. She's scared. She's scared of Corona, and she's upset because he doesn't love her, and she has to accept it. It's life. And the producer says, have you talked to your mom? And she says, no. What am I supposed to say to my mom? I don't know what's going to happen. I didn't want myself to be in this. I just happened to be. I felt bad for her. I really did. Again, wedding day, and and she's having to pack up, and it'd be one thing if it was just a normal world, but it's not. She's going back in Corona. She doesn't know where she's going. She has to go to Europe and then try to get home from there, and she can't tell her mom yet because she doesn't want her mom to freak out. I just really felt bad for her. So we see a flash to next time. It's Yara. She wants to go home, and Jovi is surprised by this because Jovi has zero self-awareness. We see Stephanie and Harris. Stephanie loves drama so much. So we see her going through his phone because that seems to be her favorite pastime with Ryan as well. She finds a picture of his baby mama on Facebook and is like, what's this? Hello, you think he just broke up with her like what, a few days ago? What? You're shocked by this? Okay. Julia and Brandon move up the wedding for corona concerns. They start talking about it. Brandon is an insensitive asshole who has his head in the clouds, and they fight. Amira says Andrew accused her of not being trustworthy right before getting on the flight, and that's why she didn't get on. I need every detail of this. What are we talking about here? And then we see a video of Natalie leaving. Mike asked to give her a hug, which Natalie is like, no, it's too much. And I got to side with Natalie on this one and say, yeah, why do that to this girl? Haven't you done enough? Anyway, so that's the end of the episode. You guys, I sounded angry. I promise I'm not. I actually really enjoy this show. It's just some of these people really piss me off. But you guys are amazing. You guys are so much fun. I love the comments, especially. I love the comments on all the shows, but this comments on this show especially really crack me up. You guys are so funny and so much fun talking about all these couples. So thank you for that. I appreciate everything. If you want to further support this show, I do ask that you check out my Patreon. $1 a week, $4 a month gets you all kinds of bonus episodes. And I hope you guys stay healthy and safe and have a good week. And give your fiancés a heads up before you dump them at the altar or before you bang their cousins. That's all I'm saying. All right, take care. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.